7 is Cal.
Huddle is not live.
Yeah, he is back.
Hold on, guys.
Is it moving?
National coach. Yeah, search it up.
You guys won the championship.
We're back-to-back state champs, trying to make it 3 in a row. Are you guys undefeated right now?
We welcome you into this broadcast of the Wilton Warriors versus New Canaan Rams football game. My name is Alex Kuchenmeister, joined by Jake Mercer and John Frieders for this broadcast. Coming into this one, the Warriors are 3-2, the New Canaan Rams 4-1, and we'll see how they do in this matchup. Coming in for the Warriors here, on the sack on the play for Wilton, that's number 1, Curtis Jackson. Drops the quarterback back for a loss of about 1 yard, and it'll be 4th down for New Canaan.
Yeah, and if you're Wilton, right, that's how you're going to win this game. You're going to bring pressure on Robinson. You're going to bring it from the outsides, contain him from the front, not give him time to complete those long passes like we saw in the first play of the drive to Esposito. You can't give him time back in the pocket. He's too experienced. You got to come in, close the gap, get a sack like that, force a tough 4th down situation early here at Wilton High School.
4th and 11 for the Rams. Motion man right to left for New Canaan. They'll shift off the field and bring in the punting unit here. Interesting decision for the Rams on 4th and 11 in Wilton territory.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of trickery from head coach Lou Marinelli, right? Kind of switch it up, make it look like Rams are going for it on 4th, then punt, try to pin the Warriors inside their own 10. Great punt there from kicker Bennett Perticello. What a kick. And pin him right at the 1 yard line.
Perticello with a beauty there for the Rams, and Wilton will have difficult field position in the shadow of their own goalpost to start the game for the Warriors.
Yeah, and earlier this week, right, I talked to Lou Marinelli. He talked about kind of the lack of attention towards Bennett Perticello. He's one of the best kickers in the state, best punters in the state, my apologies. But he doesn't get that much recognition. The importance of something like that, right? You pin Wilton at their 1 yard line early on in this game. Puts a lot of pressure on Joey Haggerty to get things going for this Wilton offense early, as that's super important against this potent Rams defense.
Yeah, I totally agree. I couldn't agree anymore. That was some great trickery right there by head coach of New Canaan, and it just allows the Wilton offense just to start off not the way that they want to, and as everyone has been saying, they're on the 1 yard line, backed up. We'll see what they do here.
Starting in the jumbo formation for the Warriors is Charlie Calabrese, the running back. He receives the direct snap for the Warriors and gets up to about the 5.5 yard line of Wilton. Gain of about 4 on that play for the Warriors. And they have a little bit of breathing room here as it's 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, you see Calabrese, right? Really kind of dynamic player, can both run the ball and receive the ball. Last week he had 8 for 57 in the receiving game, and also in the rushing game he had 5 for 20. So, kind of using him on both sides, running the ball, passing the ball. Great use of him there to get the ball outside your own kind of 1 yard line, and then give some breathing room to Joey Haggerty as they're going to snap it again.
Calabrese here goes up the left side and doesn't find as much success. Tackled for about no gain on the play by a swarm of Rams defenders on that left sideline for the Warriors. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Wilton here as they get going. Try to not go 3 and out on their first offensive possession, pinned back deep by that Rams punt.
Yeah, and that was senior captain Michael Smith. Probably him and Connor Mazza, two of the most dangerous cornerbacks on this team. Really do a great job of covering for each other, kind of locking up the top guys. Connor Mazza normally put on the opposing team's number 1 wide receiver. You see Michael Smith there make the tackle, but you'll see them swarming all night long, looking for those tackles, trying to force some turnovers, whether it's a fumble or an early mistaken interception by Haggerty.
It seems like Haggerty actually just checked into the game. It seems like he wasn't in those first couple plays when they did a direct snap to Charlie Calabrese. We'll see what they come up here.
Warriors again are going to run it with Calabrese here. He finds a seam, going up the right side, right hash there, and it looks to have a 1st down here at the 12 yard line for the Warriors. Charlie Calabrese picks up the first down of the game for Wilton. Move those chains for the Warriors, and we'll see what Coach D'Annunzio here cooks up on this 1st and 10.
Yeah, and Jake, right, it's important there to kind of give Haggerty some breathing room and then have him run the ball on 3rd down. Gutsy play, right, to run the ball on 3rd down, and they do it. They find some success there. It looks like that, they will move the chain, so it'll be a 1st down. Give them some breathing room. Here's Haggerty behind center for the Warriors.
Flags fly in from the officials. It'll be a false start on the Warriors. Move them back 5 yards, and that's their first negative play of the game. First and 15 coming up for the Warriors. Let's see how they respond to this early adversity on their first drive of the game.
I think this Wilton O-line is really going to have to stay strong here. This New Canaan D-line is really putting lots of pressure on them in this red zone territory. It's been very dangerous for them to even do a pass play, as we've seen. Like, they have not given Joey Haggerty the time to step back and do a pass. They've just been running the ball consistently. And I would imagine they're going to do the same thing here on this 1st and 15 on the 7.
Wilton here showing a shotgun formation. Calabrese to Haggerty's right. Bad snap here. Haggerty has to pick it up, and he gets tackled out of the back of the end zone. Points on the board for the Rams, and it is a safety. The score will be 2-0 New Canaan early in this one with 6:45 in the first quarter. Bad snap for the Warriors leads to early points on the board and momentum for the Rams. Wilton will be on to punt here after the early safety, and it's 2-0 New Canaan early in Wilton.
That was not the first kind of series I expected. We expected the Rams defense to come out strong, but not the first way the Rams would put up points. I'm sure you guys didn't expect the safety. Great job there by the Rams defense. And I talk about momentum, right? Wilton won the toss, elected to defer, forced their defense did a great job stopping the Rams offense, then go back on offense and make a bad turnover. Now, what do you do if you're Haggerty, right? How do you dig yourself out of this hole? You got Dexter, number 7, on the sidelines. You got to look for your receivers. You can't run the ball to Calabrese every night. This Rams defense is going to stop them. So where do you go if you're the Wilton offense here, right? You just got a safety. How do you settle down early on in this game?
I think with Kale Dexter just coming back off an injury, I think they're going to have to rely on doing some short passes, and they're just going to have to rely on Coach Nunzio using his great mind of an offensive player scheme, and they're just going to have to figure out holes in this defense, this Rams defense, and they're just going to have to work with it. As they kick off right now, Luke Ginsburg kicks it deep, received on the 25-yard line.
And that's James McInerney receiving that one, taking it out to about the 44-yard line. Good job by McInerney on the return, but what a leg that kicker has for the Warriors, doing a great job kind of forcing the Rams as far back as possible on that kick.
If it wasn't for Ginsburg, this field would really be flipped. At least for the Warriors' perspective, they have the Rams in their own end here, even if they have great field position to start. Rams will trot out again here on offense, trying to score the first offensive points of the day for either team, as it's 2-0 Rams early in this one off of that safety taken by Haggerty. Quarterback is dropping back, and it's batted in the air by Curtis Jackson, the defensive edge rusher for the Warriors. At the 35-yard line, he got his paw up there and swatted that one down. Wilton forces a 2nd and 10 for the Rams in their own end.
Curtis Jackson has been such a big playmaker for this defensive line. Along with Alan Austin, they've been putting so much pressure on this offensive line and giving the quarterback no time to really think. As we saw earlier, Curtis Jackson was able to break free when the quarterback wasn't looking and was able to cause a sack. And they're just going to be doing that all night. They're just going to be relentless.
Now, instead of Stein in the backfield for the Rams, it's going to be Hudson Kenny, who had a monster day last week against Staples. They're going to pitch it to the left. Here's Kenny trying to gain a couple extra yards there. Going to be brought down after about a gain of 5 there by the senior.
And on that play, he gets to about the 49-yard line of New Canaan, setting up a 3rd down and 5 here. Kenny gets about 5. Need 5 here, trying to move the chains again for New Canaan. They have moved the chains a couple of times, one with a deep shot to Esposito earlier in this one. But New Canaan here trying to take the early momentum on offense from the Warriors in this game.
6 minutes left in the first quarter. 3rd and 5 on the 49.
And for the Rams here, fakes the give, looks back, right, throws it right to the left. Tackled in bounds at about the 49-yard line of the Warriors. Call it the 48. Regardless, it's a 4th down forced by this Wilton Warriors defense. 4th and 2 in the Wilton end for the New Canaan Rams. And it'll be interesting to see what Coach Marinelli draws up here, given the situation for New Canaan.
Yeah, you look at that offensive drive by the Rams. Talk about that importance of bringing the pressure on 1st down, making it a 2nd and 10, and then a 3rd and 5, and being able to stop them. You got to make 2nd and 3rd down longer for the Rams offense if you want to do this. You want to get back into this game. You got to make them make plays, make them throw the ball, and get them out of their rhythm.
And the punt here is dropped by the Warriors' Calabrese at about the 5-yard line, and it looks to be New Canaan football It is.
I don't know if they threw a flag on the play, but that could have just been the down marker, but it looks like there's some confusion on the Wilton offense right there.
The head official of this game is signaling a false start or illegal procedure on the Rams here, which would negate that drop punt that's recovered by New Canaan here. Huge break for the Warriors early in this one at 5 minutes left in the first quarter as they avoided a disaster there deep in their own end. Would have conceded possession there to the Rams, but the penalty bails out the Warriors in this one.
Yep, you're totally right, Alex. I was looking down at Alan Osta, and he was waving at the ref saying, hey, like, something ain't right, something was wrong with that false start right there. And I was right. They're gonna push it back, and they're gonna have another chance to return it.
All right, so Calabrese, the star Wilton running back, with a second chance here. Punt is away. It's high. It's to the left side of the field. And it stays in bounds, takes a bounce to the 15, helping out the New Canaan Rams here. And it's down to about the Wilton 13-yard line here. That's where the Warriors will start their second offensive drive of the game. Their first one resulted in a safety of Joey Haggerty, the quarterback, after a poor snap by the center. And now the Wilton Warriors will have it at that 13-yard line with new life here, down 2-0.
Yeah, you talk about the Warriors, right? They're on a 3-game win streak. They started off the season 0-2. You come off, you play that big rivalry game against Ridgefield, and you pick up another win, and then you play Greenwich to come out with a win. A tough schedule here for the Warriors. You think that kind of plays a role on them? Obviously, they're coming up against now another top team in the state in New Canaan. How do you think that affects Haggerty after this play? We'll talk about that.
Well, on this one, it looks to be a gain of 3 or 4 for Calabrese, the running back for the Warriors. Just got that punt return, didn't grab it. But, Jake, what do you think about what John was just posing there with this Warrior schedule coming up?
I think just going back a little bit to week 1 and 2, going on the road for the first 2 games, the Warriors didn't have their football field as is under construction. And I think getting that back for game 3 really just gave them just a morale that really has been going forward on this 3-game win streak. They do have a tough schedule coming up, but I think that with this giant morale that keeps pushing them forward on this 3-game win streak, they're going to be able to keep pushing and make these games close and hopefully be able to come out with the win here.
That's what the Wilton fans are hoping for here. Haggerty keeps it on that one, picks up a few, and it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Warriors at their own 20-yard line. It's what we were saying. This is really strength on strength for both of these teams. New Canaan is undefeated on the road this year, sitting at 2-0. And for Wilton, they're 2-0 at home. So strength on strength. Both of these teams feel comfortable where they're at right now, 4-1 and 3-2 respectively. And for the Warriors here, they feel like they need a win in this game, especially with a game against Darien coming up next week. They feel like they need this one, and that morale that Jake was talking about has really been a boost to them this season.
Yeah, you talk about that schedule. They're playing 3 of the top 4 teams in the FCI as Haggerty completes a short pass to the left, but they're playing 3 of arguably the top 4 teams in the entire FCI. The only team you're really missing, actually the only 2 teams you're really missing are Staples and St. Joe's. Talk about a rough stretch of games. Those are conference games too as well. You played Ridgefield, and then now you also play Darien next week. A big win here would pick you up. Also, you kind of got to talk about FCI playoff contention. You lost those first 2 games, so these games are super important. Some of these games are going to become must-win games. So a big win here would help the Warriors kind of set in the scene, both crowds really into it. You see the entire Wilton student section on their feet right now.
Haggerty here takes the snap, looks, drops back, looking to his left, trying to find a man, flips it in Calabrese's direction, but it's incomplete to the sideline. As you were saying there, John, the Warriors here are in a tough spot because last season they needed all 8 of their wins to qualify for postseason play. They already have 2 losses this season. They can't really afford any more going by last year's standards. And in this one, they have New Canaan and Darien back-to-back. They feel like they kind of have to win both of these games, despite them being such tough opponents.
Yeah, and you look at that last play, getting to Haggerty. There was senior captain Simon Chuckarov from the outside. He kind of was banged up a little bit earlier in the season. He's coming back healthy. Going to be a big piece on this Rams defense. If the Rams want to make a shot at winning their 3rd straight title, but bringing that pressure from the outside, that's always going to be Simon Chuckarov. Big, strong guy on the line for the Rams defense.
Rams showing some pressure here with linebackers pressed up to the line of scrimmage. Haggerty drops back, looks quickly, flips to Calabrese on the right side, and tackled for a loss here of 1 yard is Charlie Calabrese. Wilton back 29-yard line there. The tackle for loss sets Wilton back to 3rd and 11 here from their own 29.
This Rams defense has been putting so much pressure on this Wilton O-line. They've really just been getting to them. As you saw, they had to over the pass snap to Haggerty, which resulted in the safety, and they just been keep putting this pressure on the Wilton O-line. Really been a problem. We'll see what the Wilton O-line can be doing. I think Coach D'Annunzio here, when the quarter's going to be over, he's going to come with the O-line and give them a nice pep talk because they could use it right now.
Warriors here with 5 receivers in the set. Haggerty looking, scrambles out to his right, has a man chasing him, bearing down on him at the 15-yard line, still looking, tries to find a man, flip towards the sideline, and is it intercepted on that sideline? It is! The New Canaan Rams pick off Haggerty here, and the first 2 drives of the Warriors game here end up with a safety and an interception, not how the Warriors were looking to start this one against the Rams.
Yeah, and if you're Haggerty, right, that's a bad decision that you just made. You know, you really didn't need to throw that ball. All you had to do was throw it out of bounds. Instead, trying to stretch the play there after he was pressured, escaped, evaded the pressure, and then tried to make a throw that he probably shouldn't have on one foot. Threw it to the left sideline. That was picked off by this Rams defense.
I totally agree with you, John, right there. That was a decision that I'm sure Haggerty could have wished he'd taken back, especially with Luke Ginsburg back there.
That was Stein coming in with a full head of steam off the handoff from Luke Robinson, but we talk a little bit about that running attack. One thing that the Rams have struggled with is their fumbles. They have 7 fumbles on the season. They've only returned 1 of them, but 7 fumbles by this offense. Definitely not good in terms of turnovers. You can't have those fumbles, and most of them have been on handoffs. But if you're the Rams, kind of establishing this run game early on, then balancing with that strong passing game is going to help you settle into this game. It's only 2-0, and your 2 points came off of the defensive play.
Still looking for our first offensive points from either side in this one. The Rams here with 2nd and 10. Toss to the left side, trying to find a seam in between the left tackle and guard. And he'll get about 3 yards up to the 40-yard line for the Rams on that one. The Rams will face a 3rd down and about 7 here from the 40-yard line as the Warriors defense tries to hold this New Canaan team yet again.
Another good job by this Warriors defense, right? Making it 3rd and long, those 3rd and 7s, 3rds and 8s. Those are hard to convert. The Rams going to look to pass the ball here. You have to expect they got 3 towards the near side. Fake the handoff. Robinson looking over. The pressure comes, almost an interception there from the Wilton defense. We saw Robinson again trying to make a throw while under pressure.
We see a flag thrown on the play by the officials. We'll see what they signal here. This could have a major implication on the outcome of this drive here.
It seemed like he pointed at both sides of the field, so as Alex was saying, we'll see what this flag is, and we'll see the outcome of this flag. Very crucial here on this long 3rd down.
Officials chatting with Coach D'Annunzio now at the 40-yard line of the Warriors near their close sideline. Now a 3rd official comes over, 4th official. They're still discussing this one. Don't know what Wilton wants to do on this one, but it is really crucial that they get a stop here to get this defense off the field yet again. Sitting with 38 seconds left in the first quarter, the clock has stopped, and we'll see what the ruling is. Calling it an illegal receiver downfield for the Rams. That means one of their offensive linemen was illegally downfield, ineligible receiver, and the Warriors will decline this one. So it looks to be the punting unit on again for the Rams here. Wilton defense gets a stop, consecutive possessions now, and Charlie Calabrese, the star junior running back for the Warriors, drops back to about the 15-yard line to receive this punt.
Yeah, so what you saw there from the penalty on the Rams, that made it. It went from a 3rd and 7 to a 3rd and 12. Now the Rams electing to punt it. Calabrese behind. You see Perticello punting towards the right side. See if he gets another lucky bounce. That ball bounces out of bounds at about the 11-yard line, hitting the Warriors inside their own 15.
Going back to that flag play right there, I think the decision by Coach D'Annunzio right there to not risk having another 3rd down and just keep putting it straight to 4th down was a good play. As Alex was saying, the Warriors would love to get their defense off the field, and that's what they did right there, allowing them to rest, and hopefully this Wilton offense can come out strong here, block the Rams defense, and it looks like the Warriors are getting the ball brought up right now. Not exactly sure what's happening, but we'll cut to Alex and John and see what they say.
Looks like there was a flag of some sort there. The officials tossing the Wilton football back to their sideline, so I would assume that this is still New Canaan football somehow. Looks to be a new football being thrown in from the New Canaan sideline. Not sure what this means, but they're calling roughing the kicker on the Warriors here. This may be a first down automatically for the New Canaan Rams here. This would be a crucial break for them, and it will be. It is the Rams football back after an unintentional penalty that is super costly for the Warriors there. Running into the kicker, you really just can't have that there. Jake, what do you think the Warriors need to do here to tighten up and really stop them here and stop the momentum?
You know, I really just think that they need to play smart. They've been good with playing smart right there. Alan Oster just got the New Canaan running back and just threw him down to the ground. They've been really good with stopping this New Canaan run. They just got to play smart. They can't have any unnecessary penalties. And as we saw, it's costly. They had the ball, got to take it away, and now the Rams have the ball on the 28-yard line.
And now you see the running back switch. Stein subs out for Kenny. It looks like the Rams that'll end the first quarter here at Wilton High School. Rams on top, 2-0 after that safety.
Tight first quarter both ways, not a lot of scoring, none from the offenses from these 3-2 Warriors and 4-1 Rams in this one. And in this one, we have the Rams coming off of a 23-10 home victory against the Staples Wreckers in their last game to improve to that 4-win season mark that they're at. The Warriors come into this one after upsetting the number 1 team in the state, the Greenwich Cardinals, on the road by a score of 20-17. So both of these teams coming into this one hot, riding some big offensive plays from last game, scoring over 20 points each in their last performances. But right now we're not on track to see a high-scoring affair with a lot of fireworks so far.
Now you see the teams change sides. You'll see the Warriors in their special camo jerseys that they're breaking out tonight. I'd say, guys, those jerseys look pretty cool. They're breaking out. They'll be going from the left to right on your screen. And the Rams in their away white jerseys going right to left. The Rams will start with possession in this second quarter. And one thing about this Rams offense that kind of makes it unique is they're never going to rush plays. They're not going to try to throw the deep ball when they need it. They're going to slowly grind. They're going to get those 5-yard gains, short gains. And they're just going to keep on working that Warriors defense.
Here Robinson hands it off yet again, but that stout Warriors run defense again limits it to just a 1-yard gain for the Rams. 3rd and 11 is coming up for New Canaan again. I would say Wilton is doing a spectacular job given the lack of rest that their defense is getting to just get these stops in the run game consistently so far in this one. We'll see what the Rams dial up here in a 3rd and long situation if they'll try to get a deep pass, but as John's saying, this is a patient offense and we'll see how they approach this one on this big down early in this game.
Couldn't agree anymore with Alex and John right there. But going back to the jerseys, around school today, there was a lot of talk that Coach Anunzio had a surprise for his boys, and I mean, I guess we see today that it was the jerseys, and it looks like they've been pretty helpful and pretty cool. A lot of fans have been surprised, and we're like, wow, this is a new Warriors. We haven't seen them before, so it's been giving the upper morale to the Warriors right here, and we'll see what they can do in this game.
Yeah, that was the pass by Robinson to Quester on that right side, gaining 8 on that play. They couldn't gain all 12 that they needed. They'll set up a field goal for one of the best kickers in the state, Bowdoin commit Tucker Stevens, who literally does not miss, went 58 for 60 on extra points last season. See if he can continue his hot streak, not just on PATs, but also on field goals.
Stevens swings the right leg. It is up, and it is good. The New Canaan Rams extend their lead on this one, 5-0 here at Wilton High School Stadium here for the Rams. The Rams will kick off here against the Warriors. And a reminder, last year when these two teams played, the Rams won a close one in overtime, 20-13 at Dunning Stadium in New Canaan.
Yeah, and you remember how that game ended. That game ended off solid defense from the Rams. But obviously that game was a defensive battle. The Rams senior captain Luke Bopp ended that game with a pick in the end zone. Kind of the pick heard around the FCAC. Expect to see a defensive performance again. I know a couple years ago, 3 years ago, they met, and it was homecoming for New Canaan. These teams met. It was a super tight game, and Wilton ended up on top with a field goal, game-winning field goal. So these histories these battles between these two teams always end up being close. We're seeing another one. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't expect a 5-0 score just about a minute and a half into this second quarter.
This was definitely not on our bingo card for tonight. A safety and a field goal, the first scores for these teams. But this is how it's gone so far. A tough, gritty game for these two teams. Bitter rivals in this one. And New Canaan looks to kick off from right to left in this one to the Warriors' pair of returners here. Wilton still trying to gain some ground offensively. They have not looked the part so far with these new camo unis. The camo's looking fresh, but the offense hasn't been so far. We'll see how the Wilton progresses here with their offensive calls as we get deeper into the second quarter.
And look at this Wilton kicking formation on that left side. It looks like Calabrese is going to hide behind one of his own teammates, so Stevens doesn't know which side to kick it off to because they want Calabrese returning it. And now they break that little huddle.
Looks like they have Alan Asta and Dennis Dustin back there, both underclassmen for the Warriors, not seniors. Dennis Dustin here is the one who catches it for the Warriors on the right side, cutting, trying to get up the field, but he cannot. Met by a host of Rams defenders there, and he's taken down at about the 18-yard line of the Warriors. Again, inside their own 20 to start this one. Great kick return coverage for the Rams so far after their safety and their field goal in this one.
Dennis Dustin and Alan Asta have been really good options for this Warrior run game in the past games. We'll see how they can get involved in this game right here. It seems like as of right now, it might just be all Charlie Calabrese, but when they get into a pickle, you never know. They might count on the power back Dennis Dustin and Alan Asta here to carry them through.
We see a popular formation of that Wilton versus Ridgefield game here. Haggerty surrounded by two running backs, but there's a false start on the right side of that offensive line for the Warriors. Looked to be senior captain Cale Dexter wearing number 7 that was in on that one. And the Warriors will be dropped back 5 yards before this drive even starts. They're already in a hole offensively.
Yeah, and I think it adds to the hole right there. In a hole before that, but now another 5 yards back really hurts you. Haggerty really no room to work with behind him, hasn't had good field positioning on a single possession so far this game. You'll see Haggerty will need to find a rhythm here early on, even though it's going to be tough.
Play action pass here goes to senior captain Cale Dexter on that right sideline. Gains a few yards, looks to get that penalty yardage back, and it'll be 2nd and 10 here for the Warriors on this one. Wilton going with this formation with Dennis Dustin and Charlie Calabrese there alongside of Joey Haggerty in the backfield. They got 2 receivers, 1 split out to each side, and senior captain, the tight end, Cale Dexter on the right side of that offensive line there, helping block and get some short routes for the Warriors. We'll see what they go to here with this 2nd and 10. Call it 2nd and 11. And it'll be a handoff up the left side to Charlie Calabrese. He is swallowed up, met in the backfield, and the Rams there are able to drive Wilton back yet again on this one. Not a lot of explosive runs so far by either team in this one. The run defense has been stout throughout this one so far. And it'll be a 3rd and long here. 3rd and about 15 for the Warriors. Coming up on 10 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And again, Chukarov just causing menacing plays there. Another great play from the senior captain, the U Chicago commit, Simon Chukarov, really being a factor here early on. That's what you like to see. If you're defensive coordinator Chris Silvestri, right, you want to see Simon get involved early, really cause pressure, whether it's from that outside and getting to Haggerty or Calabrese.
Haggerty here is going to drop back, looking, tries to find a tight end screen coming to the inside to Cale Dexter, but that one's broken up. You see the Warriors trying to do a creative play call there, short passing game, but catch the Rams off guard with that tight end screen to their captain. But it fails to work there, and the Warriors are yet again sending on senior Luke Ginsburg, their star punter, and really one of their best weapons of their team, to try to pin back the Rams deep when the Warriors have been deep in their own end throughout here. Ginsburg on to punt. Warriors have the ball. Ginsburg kicks it away, and it is off.
Dangerous returner in Michael Smith. He's going to pick it up, kind of scan for his options. Going to scroll out to the right, then brought down at his own 49-yard line. But you see Michael Smith last week had a couple really nice returns against Staples, putting his team in good field position, looking for another one there. Just couldn't find a seam, couldn't find a hole, and couldn't get upfield.
They threw a flag on the play right there. It looks like it might have been a push on the back. One of the Warriors' defensive return men just came in there and just got pushed in the back, fell over, couldn't make the tackle. We'll see what they say. Picked up the flag. Might not make a call. It looks like it's Warrior. I'm actually not 100% sure what's happening right now. Let's wait until the ref gives the call.
At the Rams 42-yard line.
It'll be New Canaan possession, 5-yard penalty there on the Rams, so it'll set the Rams back a couple more yards. We have a little bit of leverage to this Wilton defense that definitely needs it after spending most of that first quarter on that field.
And they'll be right back out there here. 9:19 left to go in the second quarter. New Canaan at Wilton here. The toss to the right side, finds a crease up that right side behind the right tackle, and he'll look to get up into the Wilton end. Late flag flies from the back judge here, but we'll see what they call here for the officials. Great play to start the drive for New Canaan. We see a lot of times those first plays of the drive can set the tone, but that might be negated by a penalty flag here late on this play.
Yeah, and what's interesting so far this season is you've basically seen sort of even splits from both these running backs, whether it's Hudson Kenny or Henry Stein. You know, Kenny's got 39 carries for 175 yards and no touchdowns, but Stein has 46 carries for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. So both kind of used in that running game, kind of that explosive factor. When one's not working, they can sub in the other one, and usually Stein tries to work towards the outside, whereas Hudson Kenny tries to run off the middle. You saw him exploding there from the backfield, gaining a couple yards, making it a 2nd and 1.
One big factor for those huge run plays, as we just saw, although it got negated by the penalty, is their blocking. The tight ends and offensive line have been all over this Wilton D, giving holes, allowing the running backs to get through. Trick play here by New Canaan.
Dragged down after a short gain there for the Rams. Looked like that could be springing open a new side of the field there for the Rams after that one, but Wilton did a great job to stay home on that left side, the New Canaan sideline, and limit the gain on that flashy play. Speaking of flashy plays, last week Wilton had a big-time play against Greenwich. They had a double reverse thrown back to Haggerty, who threw it to Charlie Calabrese on the far sideline, the left sideline of that one. Calabrese took it up and almost scored, setting up the game-winning touchdown for the Warriors. We see a lot of trick plays in this one. Sometimes they can help, sometimes they can hurt, but they're really the unknown factor coming into these ones. Here it's a little push pass up the left sideline. New Canaan trying to cut it up, gets to about the 38-yard line here, maybe the 39, but it'll definitely be a 3rd and long here set up for the New Canaan Rams. Yet again, that's been a theme for both teams, 3rd and long yardage.
Yeah, and you talk about trickery. That's one thing that New Canaan's offense and defense do really well, is kind of mixing those trick plays. They try to get the defense to jump off sides as well. Marinelli and Master, not just the clock, but also the opposing team on the field. Obviously, he's been coaching for over 4 decades, lots of experience. The winningest coach in Connecticut state history.
I think Coach does a really good job with disguising them, using lots of motions, not knowing who the ball is going to get to, which really has been a struggle for this Wilton defense. But they've been able to hold up pretty well, and we'll see what they come up here with this long 3rd down.
Robinson looking to pass, looks to step up in the pocket, and he's sacked by the Warriors' junior edge rusher, number 3, Alan Asta. Robinson dropped way back in that backfield, and it'll be a sure punting situation here for the Rams. Coming up under 7 minutes to go in this second quarter, the Wilton Warriors will be getting the ball back, down by just 5 points in this one.
Yeah, that means that if Wilton scores a touchdown, right, they're up by 2, maybe 3, but if you're New Canaan, you have to figure out your offense. Both these teams, really their defenses look better than their offense this entire year. You need to find some sort of spark on both sides, whether it's from Haggerty or Robinson. Both these quarterbacks need to step up. They're in tough situations against top defenses in the state, but they got to step up, figure out how they can kind of mesh that running and passing game together. If you're Robinson, you've already taken a couple sacks. You've been under pressure. Haggerty was under pressure. He threw that interception. You've got to kind of get back in, step up in the pocket, and feel protected, and then find a rhythm, get the ball out quickly. It's going to be key for both these quarterbacks.
Allen also running on the field right now. He's been a huge factor for this Wilton defense. As we just saw, he just caused that huge 4th down, 9-yard sack on the play, causing them to, for sure, punt. Charlie Calabrese coming off the field. Looks like Wilton's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, that was to avoid the too many men on the field penalty. It looked like a little bit confusion on Wilton's offense in terms of who is supposed to be on the field, who is supposed to be off the field. Now Wilton has 2 timeouts remaining, but it is unfortunate that you have to use a timeout in that situation where there's just confusion, there's no real purpose behind the timeout.
This game has been really close so far, just like last year's contest. And in that one, the timeouts were key in that one to just get the game to go to overtime for New Canaan, who was trailing earlier in that game. Here the Warriors are in a similar situation. They're down on the scoreboard, but definitely not out. And coming close to the end of the half here, that could be crucial if they don't have an extra timeout saved to try to get an offensive spark, or maybe something even if their defense can get a stop right before the half. This can just be a big-time loss for the Warriors just because of that play there. You don't want to be burning those timeouts early in the game if you don't have to. And now we see the Warriors coming up to the line of scrimmage with Haggerty here at quarterback, no running backs in the backfield. This is a rare sight for the Warriors in this season so far, but we'll see how it works out for them here.
Alan Asta in motion, pitch to Alan Asta. Good blocking.
Asta will take it up that left side, right on the left hash, to about the 30-yard line for the Warriors. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards, so a solid play there. Wilton using the little trickery there with a guy in motion to hand the ball off, generating a run play with no running back in the backfield. But we see they don't really do that much, but that was really a rare sight for them. It worked out, though.
Yeah, and I think one thing for Wilton to think about, right, is you got to get the ball in the hands of other players than Charlie Calabrese, right? New Canaan's defense was scheming for Calabrese the entire week. They know how to stop him. They know how they want to manipulate him. If you're Haggerty, you got to get the ball to other players. But also, one thing that you kind of mentioned is kind of feeling a little bit panicked. There's no need to panic, right? You still have halftime, those adjustments. And obviously, you gained a couple yards there on first down, and then brought down on second down. Really no gain of yardage there. But there's no need to panic in this game. You've still got 5.5 minutes, right, left in this first half. Then you got an entire second half, and you're only down by 5 points. You just got to get some things going, get some things working, and kind of get that big play. If you can get a big play, kind of get some momentum, get some energy on that sideline, that'll help you exponentially.
I couldn't agree more. I think the Warriors need a little bit of energy right now. I think they can get that energy by converting on this 3rd and short right here, allowing them to relax a little bit with 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
On this play, Jake Padilla checked in for the Warriors, the junior. Haggerty drops back, clean pocket, finds his guy on the right side, and that is Padilla. He had checked in for Dennis Dustin, the running back, picks up the first down, move those chains for the Warriors, and a first down this time to start the drive is a much more positive start than the last couple for the Warriors. Padilla did a great job, inserted into the game, gets the catch, comes right out, but he gave his team a spark there, and that might be what they need to get going in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Padilla's got 12 for 139 and a touchdown on the season coming into this game, right? That's kind of big, getting him incorporated early on, get him with that first reception, then keep feeding him the ball, kind of use him with Dexter, right? And flip them, mix and match, find your offensive weapons. If you're Haggerty, you got receivers, you just got to find them. You got to hope that they can get open against this tough Rams secondary.
Haggerty here with Calabrese to his left. Calabrese the lead blocker on this QB run, and Haggerty finds a lot of success up that right side of the Warriors offensive line, gets down to the 50-yard line exactly, and yet another first down for the Warriors here. Consecutive plays, moving the chains for Wilton as we go under 4 minutes in the second quarter.
Joey Haggerty looks fired up after that play. As we were talking about earlier, they needed a little bit of energy. I think they totally got that energy, that little boost that they need to keep pushing down the field and keep this pressure up on this New Canaan defense.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Haggerty's arm, but also his legs. He's got 64 carries for 336 yards and a touchdown this season coming into this game. Again, using his legs here, trying to look for that outside, get to the outside edge. We'll see if he can. He'll be brought down for a loss of yards. But if you're Haggerty, again, using those legs, but also using his arms as well. We've talked about that strong arm of his, but then kind of mixing, matching, kind of getting out of the pocket. But if you're that New Canaan Rams defense, you gotta tighten that huddle, and you can't let him get out in front of you. You can't let him sneak out to the front. You want to force him to the sides.
That's what the New Canaan defense did right there. Able to get a loss of 2 on the play right there. Joey Haggerty just ran to the outside of the field, and the New Canaan defense was able just to make cuts and was able to catch him and not allowing him to get on the outside of the field.
Calabrese here with Haggerty in the backfield. To his left, Haggerty takes the snap, fakes to Calabrese, looks to the left, tries to scramble and escape, and just throws this one out of bounds to avoid the sack there. We've seen all this season, Haggerty can be at his best when he's scrambling to his right looking for receivers downfield. But when New Canaan forced him to the left that time, he wasn't able to find success back-to-back plays. I think they found something there, and that's really a strategy for success that New Canaan can use. If they're trying to force him out to that left side, he's not as good scrambling to his non-dominant hand. And if they can continue to do that and force him to this his weaker side as the Warriors line up for 3rd and 12 here, that can be something that the Rams do to limit Haggerty's deadliness out of the pocket.
Yeah, it also forces him, right, to make those cross-body throws as well as kind of get out to his left, scan the field. But guess who brought the pressure once again? Simon Chukarov, once again the senior captain, bringing the pressure on Haggerty. We'll see if the Rams can bring the pressure once again, or if Haggerty can prevail, get the first down on 3rd and 12.
Haggerty dropping back, steps up in the pocket at the 50, trying to cut it up to the Rams 45, and he won't get there. Drop down at the 46-yard line of New Canaan. And this will bring up a 3rd or 4th and medium here for the Warriors on this one. Haggerty again scrambling, trying to make it work with his legs. Wasn't able to pick up all the yardage, but an interesting decision here with about 2 minutes left to go in this one for D'Annunzio's Warriors.
Joey Haggerty getting banged up on all these plays. He's been getting hit after hit. We're going to wonder if this New Canaan defense is going to be able to get him to mess up with all these hits he's been taking. 2-minute warning's about to go. They're going to let it run to the 2-minute warning. Never mind, they're not. But they're just going to keep the pressure up. It's 4th and 6. We'll see what they do. Looks like the punting unit's going to come on last second.
And that cannot feel good, right? If you're Haggerty, you just got swarmed by a bunch of New Canaan white jerseys. If you're Haggerty, you got to figure out how you can get some offense going. Obviously, the Rams defense is expecting him to run the ball as they punt it. We'll see where the Warriors can pin it if they get the lucky bounce. Be brought down at the 21-yard line.
That's where the Rams will start this offensive drive here. 5-0 New Canaan with 1 minute, 27 seconds left in this first half. So the Warriors there pretty much conceding any ability to score here with that time left in the half. And we'll see if New Canaan can extend their lead on the scoreboard here in this limited time that they have left before we hit halftime here at Wilton. Robinson will hand it off, going up the left side, cutting up to about the 26-yard line for the Rams. This will set up a 2nd and about 4 yards for New Canaan here as they'll take their first time out of the half. 1 minute, 17 seconds left here for New Canaan to try to put some more points on the board as they take their first time out of the half. Each team has 2 remaining. Warriors used one earlier after a bit of confusion on their offensive series. New Canaan here trying to move the ball, and it'll set up a 2nd and medium. John, is the playbook fully open here? What can we expect from New Canaan going into this short yardage, low time on the clock situation?
Yeah, you know, this playbook is really diverse in the fact that they can run the ball to the outside, run the ball to the inside. But you know what they haven't done in a while is they haven't taken a shot. We saw them take a shot to Esposito on the first play of the game. You got Esposito, you got Cuesta, you even got the tight end Jake Valente who finds himself open. You got Charlie Koch. You got a bunch of good receivers on this Rams team. If Robinson can connect with one of them for 10, 15 yards, maybe this is your chance to take the shot on 2nd and 5 instead of trying to run something short. Expect them to pass the ball, although they do still have 2 timeouts left.
And it'll be another run here. Rams been finding a little bit of success here, gets about 6 yards, picks up a first down, call it 7 for New Canaan here, and it'll be a 1st and 10 for New Canaan. Up to about the 33-yard line are the Rams. They'll go quickly, get set to the line. 1 minute, 5 seconds left in this first half. Handoff up the left side, trying to gain yardage, and he will not get any. On that play, the Warriors swarm the football there. Tackle in by Marco Chila, number 9 for the Warriors.
And one thing we haven't talked about too as well is this clock does not start until that ball is set. So once the receiver, the running back goes down, their knees hit the ground, that clock stops and it starts once the ball is set. New Canaan's going to call a timeout here, call their 2nd timeout, going to have 1 remaining. Now in 2nd and 10 but that clock stops. So it stops until it's set. Maybe expect the Rams to take their shot now on 2nd and 10, or try to make 3rd down a little bit more manageable.
And we see here, if the Warriors are able to get a stop, this would be interesting, given the Warriors have 2 timeouts, if they try to give their offense yet another chance in the end of this first half here. Score is 5-0 Warriors in this one against the New Canaan Rams. 58 seconds left in the first half. Jake, what approach do you think we'll see the Warriors defense take here against the Rams?
I think they're just going to have a heavy set up front. They're just going to keep the pressure up, not allow them to drop back and take a huge play, but they're really going to be focusing on this run.
2 guys in the back.
Yeah, as I was saying, they're going to have 2 guys in the back. Oh, right there, big play right there by New Canaan, down to the 43-yard line.
That was Robinson to Charlie Koch, the sophomore, coming up with a big play there. Find himself wide open. First reception on the day. Charlie Koch becoming a difference maker. Now the Rams look like they do. They call their final timeout. Ball at the opposing team's 43-yard line. So an opportunity here for the Rams to see kind of what they can do. Good job by Robinson finding Koch. You know, Esposito is going to be guarded by Wilton's top cornerback, so other guys are going to have to step up. You can't rely on Esposito getting open. That's what you saw there, right? Good job by Koch. Get open on a nice little kind of straight route right up the seam. We'll see what happens with the Rams offense here, but if you're the Wilton's defense, you really can't give more. Obviously, kind of back there, you could have said we can bend, don't break. Now you can't give up much more because Tucker Stevens has got that leg. He can kick field goals from 40, 45, maybe even 50 yards if he's feeling good. So if you're the Wilton defense, you got to come up with a stop here on 1st down and then 2nd down, hopefully 3rd down.
It is 1st and 10 here for the Rams. They have no timeouts remaining, so the clock will run. Robinson drops back, trying to find his man, finds one, but it falls incomplete harmlessly to the turf for this Wilton defense. The clock will stop, which does benefit New Canaan here. There's 47 seconds left to go in the first half, but it'll be 2nd and 10 from the Wilton 43-yard line for the Rams.
Yeah, that was Robinson trying to find Chris Cuesta, who he connected with earlier on in the game. Robinson definitely at the advantage and kind of having a lot of good wide receivers as well as 2 really strong running backs. It's just been kind of figured out how he can use those tools to produce successful drives this season so far. That's kind of what the struggle has been.
See at the bottom of the screen, Cale Dexter guarding Esposito for Wilton. Meanwhile, the Rams go the opposite way to the far sideline, gains about 8 or 9 yards there, gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
And that was Jake Valente running a nice little out route there. Get out of bounds. You're going to look, the Rams kind of target those sidelines, right? Nothing over the middle of the field. They don't have another timeout, so they got to look to the side. So look for those 2 receivers to the left. You see Esposito giving a little bit of room, but going to the outside. Robinson going to want to direct everything towards the sidelines, not towards the middle of the field.
And Wilton is honestly giving their wide receivers or their cornerbacks a lot of room to work with their New Canaan wide receivers, allowing them to really kind of get those outside looks. But right there, they're able to run straight up the middle. Clock's still running.
Stein gets the 1st down for the Rams. They run the ball up the middle. Good job right away, and Robinson's just going to spike that. Good job by the Rams to get set right away, kind of take the least amount of time off the clock as possible. Running the ball up the middle. Probably with Stein, probably caught the Wilton defense off guard, you got to think. There's no one really there to stop Stein.
That was a real tendency breaker from the Rams and a really creative play call there given the circumstance. 32 seconds left in the first half in this one. It'll be second down and 10 after the spike to stop the clock for New Canaan. Robinson getting the play call from his sideline and about to get set for his team here. Warriors have had senior captain Cale Dexter guarding Esposito on the bottom of the screen throughout this drive. Seems like that's a strategy they've taken to try to limit the star receiver's production in this one. Starting off here, Robinson trying to find a man on the sideline, looks to the right corner of the end zone, and is that caught? Oh, it's out of bounds, just incomplete.
That was Robinson, the ball intended for Koch. See Robinson take that shot towards the end zone, kind of expected on 2nd and 10. Now 3rd and 10. You kind of want to make this field goal more manageable, right? Positioning the ball where you want it, where Stevens feels comfortable, and find out if you can get a couple more yards, make the field goal, again, a little bit more manageable for Stevens right now. Looks like it would be about 35, 30, 37-yard field goal.
That was a good double move right there by New Canaan. It allowed them just to really break free from the zone coverage that Wilton seems to be running, and it just allowed them to get that one-on-one look that they wanted to. They trusted their guy more, and it was just slightly out of bounds, but
That's the ball that the Rams offense needed. There's Robinson looking to his left side. That's Jake Valente. Once again, finds a receiver. That moves the chains. Now 1st down. Robinson spikes the ball. And now a situation, right? 18 seconds left. You have no timeouts, but now you have an opportunity to take 2-3 shots towards the end zone. You're close enough. Again, you've got those solid wide receivers. And if you're the Warriors, you got to protect that end zone line, right? You can't give up the touchdown here, otherwise that makes it a 12-point game. And that's really a demoralizer, right? Going into the locker room, going into halftime, come up giving up the touchdown. And a game that's been primarily focused on 2 solid defenses going at each other, right? And so that would be demoralizing if you're the Warriors and you give up a touchdown here.
Rams here looking to move it yet again, trying to go to the end zone, but it's a shorter throw here, down to about the 8-yard line. Are the Rams. The clock is running at 10 seconds. Still running. Rams getting set. Down to about 5 seconds here. Takes the ball. Robinson clocks it with 4.
That will do it. They got 1 shot at the end zone. Now you'll see the field goal unit come out. You see Robinson. My apologies. Robinson's going to stay on. We'll see what they decide to do here. But, you got 4 seconds. Do you take the 3 points or do you go for the end zone? That's kind of the play. And Robinson's the holder for Stevens. So now the Rams will go for the 3 points. Field goal attempt from that left side.
Stevens' kick is up. And it is no good. Stevens with a rare miss there for New Canaan. It'll stay a 5-point game there. Number 8 for the Rams, unable to extend it to an 8-point lead going into halftime. Both teams will run to their locker rooms 20 minutes before the start of the second half here, and it's still just a 5-point game. No touchdowns scored on this one for either of these top teams in the FCX conference.
that was a good break right there by the Warriors catching it, allowing them to go into halftime with a 1-possession break, allowing them to only have a 1-possession lead, and we'll see what they come up with after the halftime break.
Yeah, and before we go into the break, let's talk just one quick moment about the momentum that Wilton gains from that missed field goal, right? Rarely you see Tucker Stevens miss from something that close, but if you're Wilton, right, you go into halftime, you use that as momentum, figure out a way to get Haggerty starting off strong in that second half. You start with the ball, which is definitely an advantage. I mean, looking back at it, obviously I said that if you're Wilton, you might want to take the ball first, but them deferring was the smart move. Now they get the ball to start off this second half, an opportunity to really build up momentum. Obviously, only down by 5 points, so a touchdown puts them in the lead. Use that momentum from the missed field goal, go into the second half and come up with some points, figure out a way to get some momentum going and build off of that missed field goal. Use Haggerty, get Dexter involved, get Calabrese really strong. We haven't seen Calabrese do much tonight so far. That Rams defense has been relentless, and you got to figure out a way to stop that pressure from Simon Chukarov if you're the Warriors offensive line.
All right, we'll head to our
It's better than nothing.
It is. They're looking pretty good. They'll have
When you come from nothing, like
yeah, they
it's
have
at
like,
least
Tell
entertaining.
them.
they have like
Guys.
the
I'm gonna
flag.
unmute it.
Guys, we have to walk to that side. She's gonna unmute it for the band, okay?
'Cause-
We just have to walk to that side.
Yeah,
of the
because they can't hear the band if we're in here. And don't be too loud, because when that guy was swearing, we heard it.
Okay.
sideline. and well done. Great job. Now they'll head from the field. Thank you, band. Thank you, youth members. Well done. Terrific entertainment for us. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the Warriors will be back here next Friday night when they take on the Canaan High School Blue Wave. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. That's next Friday night, right here at Fujitani Field, the Warriors versus the Darien High School Blue Wave. And again, we also want to thank the Gridiron Club corporate sponsors, Ortho Connecticut Coastal Orthopedics, 72 Capital, American Securities, Gridiron Capital, Southern Yankee, the Fairfield County Bank, Meiji Jewelers, Brightview Landscape.
And welcome back to Wilton High School, Fujitani Field for this game, Wilton High School versus New Canaan High School. The score is 5.
Thank you.
And one of our own media students, Maddie Weiss, wanted to give a shout out to his mom, Kate Weiss, who a year ago decided last season for both teams.
Remember that? Because he's in the game.
David?
We're not on. I'm talking about last season for both teams, and then we'll go.
Girls, you guys, you ready?
Get all the stats.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
If you're just joining us, this is the Wilton High School versus New Canaan Rams football game. We're currently at halftime of this one. The score is 5-0 New Canaan, and we're going to get set for the second half coming up shortly. In this one, we're featuring two teams, Wilton at 3-2 and New Canaan at 4-1. And these teams had great seasons last year as well, not just this one. They've been dominant for years. Wilton finished last season with an 8-2 record and advanced to the CIAC Class Double M State Championship game. They had 2 losses this season already, but they have won 3 in a row this season, coming into this one. And for New Canaan, they went 9-1 last season and won the CIAC Class L State Championship game against Darien 28-21. Their only loss this season came against Massac 14-0, which is the same team Wilton lost to in its season opener. That's New Canaan's 1 loss, so both these teams come in with winning records into the second half, a 1-score game, and the Warriors will get the ball to start.
Yeah, and Jake, right, I think the big story of this game so far has not been the offenses. It's been the defenses, but also the bigger story is the offense's inability to produce. So if you're quarterback Joey Haggerty, right, you start the second half with the ball in your hands. How do you get this Wilton offense involved? How do you get Calabrese with those bigger yard chunks of gainage on the ground? And then also, how do you get those receivers involved? What does it start with?
You know, I think as Coach D'Annunzio, we start with the basics. You got to get Dennis Dustin in there as a lead blocker for Charlie Calabrese, and Joey Haggerty just going to allow them to get to that second level of the New Canaan defense, which really hasn't happened that much for this Wilton offense. As John was saying, it is really a very defensive game, and there hasn't been a lot of scoring as the score is 5-0 New Canaan. I really think we're just going to have to see the Wilton offense just rely on these simple run plays, mix a couple of passing plays in there to really throw off this defense, and we'll see what happens in this long second half.
We are off. Foot hits the leather. Here, the return out by Wilton. There's Calabrese, the big hit there by number 4 on the Rams. That was Will Sullivan with the big hit on Calabrese, that physicality. You got to think, right, the Rams are coming out in the second half. There's a little bit of anger, frustration after that missed field goal to close that first half. If you're the Warriors, though, you're coming out, you have the momentum, right? You kind of evaded that field goal. You got lucky. Now take that momentum, bring it with you, get fired up in the locker room during halftime, come out, weave together a strong offensive drive that I think that momentum will then carry you through the rest of the second half. It's all on the hands of quarterback Joey Haggerty.
And Haggerty here starts with no running backs to his side. We've seen the Warriors have the most success all night with this formation here. Throws to Alan Asta on the right side, gets his blockers, tries to make it up to the 30-yard line, won't get there. He's turned back by multiple New Canaan defenders. Flag flies in on the play to start this second half. You were yet to see an offensive touchdown for either team in this one, the score 5-0. And yet again, we see Wilton start off an offensive drive with the penalty here. It's going on them. Looks to be a hold in the backfield on this one after that completion to Asta. And Warriors already set back to start the second half.
It sure is a hold on the Warrior offense right now. As the referee just confirmed, it's going to set them back 5. And as we've seen here, Joey Haggerty has not had a lot of room to work. He's been set up every time, either behind in the red zone of his own red zone, which has not been a good, comfortable way for Joey Haggerty to get out here, do his thing, use his legs and arm to really lead this Warrior offense forward.
And now you see Simon Chukarov lining up on that right side with Mikey Hiraman on that left side. The Rams looks like they might bring pressure here and force Haggerty to make a decision. You see Hiraman from that left side almost gets Haggerty, but Haggerty evades. Then followed up by New Canaan defenders. That was Will Sullivan making the tackle there. Great job by that Rams defense. That's second level coming in to make the tackle on Haggerty.
Haggerty looked to be a little bit shaken up after that one. Seems to be okay, having his helmet readjusted by his teammate on that one. But he'll stay in the game here for this big third down or call it second down after that penalty. It's still second down for the Warriors here. Second and long for them, about 15 yards to gain. And they'll start this play here with Ethan Bailey lined up at the bottom side of your screen here. Charlie Calabrese to the right of Joey Haggerty at quarterback. And the tight end Dexter pulling to make the block. Calabrese with the ball, fumbles, it's on the ground. And the referee has signaled that the New Canaan Rams have recovered a fumble, forcing yet another turnover of the Warriors, and they will start off this possession on the edge of the red zone for Wilton at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, great job by that Rams defense. Take that momentum, take that frustration out on the Wilton offense after forcing that penalty. Then you come in, you get the turnover now. Instant red zone opportunity for Luke Robinson. Get his confidence back up. Get kind of those feelings, get that excitement in this game of football. At the end of the day, right, it's just finding your friends out there on the field. It's finding your receivers, being able to hand the ball off to your running back. Just got to have a little bit of fun with it. Obviously, be serious, but relax a little bit, right? You're up by 5, no pressure, instant red zone opportunity. Automatically hands the ball off to Stein, who's going to gain a couple yards on first down. But again, right, if you're Robinson, you can relax. There's no pressure. Just relax, find your receivers, stay in the pocket, and be comfortable. Get comfortable.
I was going to say a little earlier that coming into the second half, this New Canaan team is going to be a little hot-headed after that missed opportunity with the missed field goal. And as we saw there, they were able to use that just pressure and motivation that they got, I'm sure, by Coach in the locker room to really push forward and able to get that play.
Robinson, Stein looked like he was going out to block, then rolled out. Robinson takes the hit, pushed to the ground, but found Stein, avoids the loss of yards, gains a couple, now makes second down a little bit more manageable.
That tackle, or that hit on the quarterback there from the Warriors was by number 9, Marco Chila, the junior for them. He lines up right at that 10-yard line marker there for the Warriors on this play, as Robinson will have one running back to his left, a receiver there on that side, and 2 to the top of the screen.
You see now also, right, that Wilton defense doubling Andrew Esposito, recognize how much of a threat he is. Rams got 3 receivers on the right, but who does that leave open, right? There's got to be someone, or they're just going to rush 3. And there's a run by the Rams at Stein. Making some progress. Looks like he's going to get the easy first down. It's 3rd and 2. Got definitely more than 2 yards there on that third down play. Again, that was set up by the Rams. Great job, Robinson, being able to dump that ball off to Stein to get the yards on second down when it was 2nd and 8. Made it 3rd and 2, much more manageable. And then you can run the ball with Stein, get that first down. If you're the Warriors, though, you got to learn from that, right? You got to gain a couple of yards on first and second down to make that third down more manageable.
See here another run play again for New Canaan here. Gets down to the 6-yard line, and it'll be second down and goal here. Goal to go for the New Canaan Rams. Still trying to see our first touchdown of the game in this one, and New Canaan is definitely threatening the Warriors here, trying to go up by 2 scores in this one. 9 minutes, 30 seconds left in this third quarter here as we start off in the red zone for the Rams, and it'll be second down here. You see really opposite situations for these offenses. The Warriors moving backwards, putting themselves in tough spots, and the Rams just helping themselves out by picking up lots of yards on first and second down. Stein here goes up the middle, cuts it up behind the right guard, and scores a touchdown for the Rams.
This New Canaan offensive line has really just been able to push back the Warrior D-line, being able to create lots of good just gaps for the running back to run through. And as we saw there on pretty much back-to-back plays, this New Canaan offensive line was just able to push the Warrior D-line back and able to create so much space and just a way for them to keep getting extra yards on those plays.
There's Tucker Stevens with the extra point after Stein barrels in to the end zone. And there's the muff snap. Here's Tucker Stevens taking it himself. Dangerous play, ball hits the ground. They avoid any serious conflicts there, but I was just about to say Stein barrels into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown on the season. Great job by the Rams capitalizing off the field position right from the fumble and then kind of establishing that run game. Stein doing a great job finding holes. Great job by the offensive line. And if you're the Warriors defense now, right, this is the make or possession of the game, I believe. To get back that offensive confidence, you need to find something. You haven't found anything in the first half. Now you're down by 2 possessions. You're down 11-0. Obviously, you still have those timeouts. That's kind of irrelevant right now. But you got to get something going with Haggerty. You got to find some connection. And, Jake, I think you brought this up during the break, right? But the Wilton offense hasn't made it past midfield yet this game so far. You have to do that here. Establish some confidence. And maybe that all starts with a good kickoff return.
Yeah, I was talking to John off live, and I was saying that this Warrior offense has not been able to get the ball past midfield. I think if they're able to get the ball past midfield, it can really be a game changer here. Get them a little bit of momentum, know that they're able to get the ball forward, push the New Canaan defense back in a place where they haven't really been at all this game, and create some uncomfortable situations where the Warriors can maybe just come up on them and able to take an advantage on them. Alan Asta with the return.
And Asta's taken down around the 10-yard line of the Warriors. That might be one of their worst starting field positions of the game. You remember way back, their first possession, they started at their own 1. Now they're at their 10. This really hasn't been great field position all day for the Warriors to start out their drives, and maybe that's been the real momentum changer for them. They've really been feeling the pressure on offense every time they've had the ball. Whereas New Canaan's been set up well by their defense with multiple opportunities starting in plus territory this last drive when they hit pay dirt to really break open the scoreboard at 11-0 right now against the Warriors.
I think also we saw that Warriors offense get Calabrese to the outside once or twice in that first half. Getting him to the outside is imperative. You can't run the ball up the middle. You don't have that line advantage. Here's Haggerty now going to air it out towards the sideline. Incomplete. That was towards Dexter, number 7. Couldn't find his favorite target on the right.
That was into double coverage there. I'm not sure about that decision by Haggerty to throw it and force it to his guy. There is a flag here. They're calling ineligible man downfield on the Warriors here. An offensive lineman was past where he was allowed to be on that play. So yet again, the Warriors have a penalty on their first play of a possession. They're set back again. They started at their 10-yard line this possession, now back to their 5. It'll be first down again for the Warriors, but it's 1st and 15, a very familiar sight for this Wilton offense so far this game.
The Warriors really need to get some momentum here. Start off small. They got 15 yards to go to get this first down. They're on their own 5-yard line. Blitz coming. Haggerty takes the direct snap, able to get about 8 yards on the play there.
Haggerty just got thrown down to the ground after taking a couple of hits. Looks like he is going to stumble, get up. We'll see if he's okay. We'll see if he stays in the game. I believe he will, but you got to wonder how many more of those shots can Haggerty take. He has to evade the pocket, try to gain some yards through the means of his legs, and then get smacked by a couple of Rams linemen.
As I was saying earlier, in the second quarter, they have really just put so much pressure on Haggerty. They've been getting hit after hit on him, and it's getting to him. The wear and tear is really not helping Haggerty right now perform to his best.
Haggerty here will hand it off to Calabrese. A lot more success on this play. Calabrese brings it up to the 29-yard line. That'll be a Wilton Warriors first down on this play. First one of the second half here. The Warriors there able to overcome a penalty, something they haven't done a lot in this game so far, and maybe that can be a spark there that ignites their offense. Under 8 minutes to go in this third quarter here. Haggerty looking to the sideline with Calabrese to his side, and we'll see what the Warriors can draw up here as we get into the heart of this second half.
Now you see that Wilton student section and the fans getting loud on their feet. Now they have something to cheer for, right? Calabrese with that long run. Here's Haggerty going to use Calabrese as a blocker. Haggerty going to the outside. Going to be thrown down once again. No gain. Instead, a loss of a couple yards there on first down.
Haggerty is just getting thrown into a sideline there, thrown hard to the turf. This is really building up on him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little more reluctant to use his legs as we move into the deeper part of this game here. Again, the Warriors taking their time to get to the line. We got Haggerty, Dexter, and Calabrese in a line there in the backfield. Dexter will move up to the left side of the line of scrimmage in his tight end spot. Calabrese is to Haggerty's right. Haggerty looking for the snap here, awaits, takes it, fakes the give to Calabrese, spins out to the right, looking for a man downfield, and it's intercepted by the New Canaan Rams, taking the ball to the 15, to the 10, blockers in front, and dragged into the end zone. New Canaan Rams with a pick 6 of Joey Haggerty there.
Will Sullivan with the interception there. You saw him get a hand on it, pop it up into the air, then grab it. Will Sullivan, have a day. There's a pick 6 add to the resume. Again, the Rams leaning on their defense tonight against Wilton, now up 17-0, awaiting the extra point, of course, but Will Sullivan there with the electric pick 6.
This pressure of this New Canaan defense has been relentless. Every play they're rushing. They're not giving Haggerty any time to think. As you saw there, Haggerty took the direct snap, used his legs, got outside of the pocket, decided to throw the ball to Cale Dexter, who was down the field, and it was just too low. And it was able to get picked off and resulted in 7 points.
You saw there, great job by the Rams defensive players there rallying and blocking for their player Sullivan there. That was a great job. The awareness of that defensive line and the blockers up there, getting a big block from a linebacker teammate there to get into the end zone. That might have been the play of the game so far for the New Canaan Rams. It's 18-0 New Canaan after the extra point there. They lead at Fujitani Field here. Wilton Warriors will get the ball back here in a big hole. It's officially now, a 3-possession game for the Warriors here. A lot to overcome. And for Will Sullivan there, what a play to get into the end zone. The extra effort as a defensive player trying to make it into the end zone there. And you got to love that celebration with the teammates there. They're all hyped up and amped after they take it back to the house. 2 touchdowns on the board now for the New Canaan Rams in this one. Wilton still searching for their first points as they are about to receive the kickoff.
Now you got to think, right? When does it turn it into a really we got to go situation if you're the Wilton offense? And I think that point is now. Now down by 3 possessions. You haven't found any offensive success. Getting points on this next drive is absolutely critical, whether that's a field goal, whether that's a touchdown. Haggerty can't turn the ball over. He's got to find some success. I know we've talked about it. We sound like a broken record, but nothing's been churning for this Wilton offense. The New Canaan defense hanging in there strong, proving why they're one of the top defenses in the state. And on the other side, Wilton's offense just can't get past that strong defensive front from the Rams.
Calabrese returning, loses the ball here again, and it's on the floor. A second fumble of the game here by the Warriors, but it looks as if they've recovered it here. Fortunate to get back on the ball are the Warriors, and their offense will be trotting out here. So Wilton fumbles the ball and they kick off from the hands of Calabrese, but they are very, very lucky to get the ball back here. 6:27 left in this third quarter as the Wilton offense runs back out onto the field, trying to get momentum. Still haven't crossed midfield in this game yet, and it's really do or die time for these Warriors.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I gotta ask the question, is something up with Charlie Calabrese, right? He's such a good player, such a good running back, and he's fumbled down. He fumbled an extra point, he muffed a kickoff, and then fumbled that one. What's up with Charlie Calabrese tonight? Seems like he just can't hold on to the ball, and that's been a big issue, right? Those turnovers for the Warriors stopped all offensive momentum.
I think you're totally right, John. There's been a lot of turnovers and mistakes by this Warrior offense, and it's not just on one person, but as a whole, they got to come together and push through. And as John was saying, it's time. If they want to make a push, they got to do it now.
Wilton here going back to the running game and nothing doing there for Calabrese. That's been a frequent statement that I think we've all said tonight. Calabrese has not really been getting going, as John was saying just earlier. Again, the Warriors here in a second and long situation. They really haven't done themselves any favors on these early downs, and it's resulted in those turnovers that we've seen throughout the night.
And this is where Wilton's other guys gotta step up, right? We know coming into this game, New Canaan had their eyes set on stopping Calabrese. They've done just that tonight, making Haggerty make those throws. There's a big hit on the sideline. That was number 3 for the Rams. Don't have him rostered, unfortunately. A big hit by the Rams.
And on the receiving end of that, with the catch there was Theo Satrazimis for the Warriors. He made his first catch of the game there for the Warriors, but it's still a third down here. The positive of that for the Warriors was they did set themselves up for a positive 3rd and 3 here, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 for the Warriors, but this is still a must convert down for Wilton.
And that was Zando Cannon on the tackle. My apologies. There, another big hit on the side by the Rams defense. You see the Rams defense, just whenever there's one Wilton guy, there's usually 2 or 3 Rams defenders.
I think you're totally right there, John. They have been hammering these Wilton Warriors right now. They've been getting 2, 3 hits on every single play. They've not been allowing any space for this Warrior offense to really run or do what they would want to do here.
Wilton here will keep their offense on the field, clock at around 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go in this third quarter. You'd have to think it's go time for the Warriors offense. They must pick up this first down here. Still trying to approach midfield for the first time in this game, and it looks to be a jumbo formation for the Warriors here. Multiple extra blockers. They've gone to this formation often in short yardage situations this season, and before the play is able to be snapped, there will be a tight end by the New Canaan Rams on this one. They saw the formation the Warriors were going to, and they wanted some extra preparation, knowing this could be the biggest stop of the game if they're able to get it on defense.
Yeah, now if you're Coach Silvestri, guys, I want to ask this question towards you, Jake. What do you do here? Do you go out in that same formation, expect the jumbo set from Charlotte Calabrese in this Wilton offense? Obviously, you know the offense a little bit better than I do. Or do you expect a different look? Do you expect Wilton to kind of switch things up and look for maybe a quick tap off, something other than that jumbo formation?
I think they're going to stick with something very similar to the jumbo formation. Probably not the exact same, but Wilton is very consistent with running on these short downs and important downs. So I would expect this timeout by New Canaan to be used to really put a couple big guys up front, be able to push that Warrior offensive line back and try to make the stop on this 4th and 1 so they can get this ball back.
It's interesting because this is a frequently used formation that the Warriors have had in seasons in the past too. It's just tonight we haven't been able to see it because they haven't gotten the opportunity to go on the goal line or in a 4th and 1, 4th and 2 situation. They have it with just 1 yard to go here, so this would be the go-to opportunity for this formation. Haven't seen it a lot, and it looks like Warriors are bringing in multiple extra blockers here yet again, as we just saw on that play that was blown dead. Calabrese here looking to get the direct snap from this offensive line.
Now Wilton gonna call a timeout themselves. They saw New Canaan's defensive formation looking a little bit like a chess match here, right? You see what your opponent reveals, and then you kind of, like a game of cards, see what your opponent plays, and you kind of play your own cards. But here's New Canaan and Wilton going out back and forth with that timeout game, taking a chance to kind of see the different looks that they see and then kind of the different play options, settle things down. But again, this just demonstrates, right, the importance of this snap. Here it's 4th and 1, 4 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in this third quarter. And the Rams are up 18-0. You haven't scored. Points go a very long way if you're the Warriors here, but you got to get past this 4th down. The importance of this down. This could be the game right here.
This really could. There's only 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and as John was saying, this is a chess match. As I was kind of saying, like, I think Coach Annunzio is going to come out in another heavy set, and New Canaan came out to match that. They had some big guys up front, and they really just, Coach Annunzio called a timeout to adjust his play. It looks like he's spreading the guys out right now, but we'll see what Coach Annunzio finally lines up with.
It appears as if the Warriors are in punting formation right now. Interesting how both teams kind of showed their hands there, but now we'll see Luke Ginsburg there back to punt. Maybe it could be a fake, but it will be to Ginsburg. He'll punt it away, boots it to around the 30-yard line of the Rams, and it's caught there. Fair catch made, and it's spotted right there at the 30-yard line by the officials. So a lot of back and forth there, a bunch of different formations shown, back and forth from the coaches, but ultimately it ends up in a punt for the Warriors, as Coach Nunzio doesn't want to risk anything more and giving up even more points and more importantly, momentum to this New Canaan Rams defense, were they to make another stop there.
Yeah, and also you got to keep in mind, it's a game of positioning, right? You're in your own field there. If you turn it over, you don't get it on 4th and 1, and now you're on the opposing side. You give yourself a little bit more breathing room for your defense. And also, it looked like the refs might have missed maybe a little bit of a penalty there, roughing the receiver after the play was blown dead. The whistle was blown. Didn't call anything. Robinson back now. Drops back. Looks towards Esposito on that right side. Double coverage. Great coverage by the Wilton Warriors defense. Batted down by number 6, Jack Schwartz, the captain.
Back there also was Marco Chila on that one, the junior for the Warriors. He's made multiple plays in this one. Looking to turn the momentum there. Almost was able to make that interception for the Warriors. But unfortunately for them, it'll just be 2nd down and 10. That ball falls harmlessly to the turf for the New Canaan offense here. That could have been a real momentum changer here with 4:01 in the third quarter.
And if you're Coach Nugent, right, you're the offensive coordinator, you don't want to throw that ball. You don't want to give Wilton any opportunity to gain that momentum. You think about it, right, they pick that ball off, they're automatically in the offensive side of the field, and plus a couple more yards. Here's the Rams now running the ball to Henry Stein.
Stein had that touchdown earlier to put New Canaan up by 2 scores, the first touchdown of the game and the only offensive one for either team. On that one, it's the senior captain for the Warriors, Jack Schwartz, on the stop on that one. And it'll be about 3rd and 8 here for the New Canaan Rams. Rams showing 4 receivers in the set, 1 running back to the side of Robinson. That's Stein back there. They'll go trips to the left side. Rams looking to convert this 3rd and long and really get a comfortable position in this game, but a flag is thrown by the side official on the Wilton Warriors side of the field.
Offsides charged against the Warriors.
And the officials are showing that the Wilton Warriors jumped on that play. Maybe they were caught up in that one, trying to pin their ears back and get a potential sack to swing the momentum back. But it ends up in yet another penalty for the Warriors that steps them back further here. It'll just be a 3rd and about 3.5 now for New Canaan. Much easier to convert here, I'd presume, for them. But again, they'll go with 4 receivers, 1 running back. It's Stein running out to the right side. Throw back to the middle. They try to get the screen pass there for New Canaan, but it was just incomplete there. Couldn't get the timing right on that route, and it was very close to being a potential big catch for Charlie Koch there, the receiver on that screen pass for New Canaan.
This Warrior crowd really getting loud, affecting a huge part in this game. We saw the Warrior crowd was getting loud on that 3rd down where the penalty was thrown. It unfortunately caused the Warriors to jump off sides, but it looked like there was also maybe a New Canaan Ram that also jumped off sides, so they caught a little break there. Low snap.
And blocked by the Warriors defense. Maybe that's the momentum they needed. The block punt there gives them automatic red zone field position. And here come the Warriors, right? That's what you didn't want if you're the Rams. Give the Warriors something to cling on to, kind of a sense of life. You just gave them that. Here come the Warriors, right? Now Haggerty, big chance to step up, make it a 2-possession game. And all lies in the hands of Haggerty and this entire Warriors offense.
On that play was Curtis Jackson, the junior edge rusher for the Warriors, getting in there after that bad snap. Early in the game, he's had a couple of times he's batted the ball up in the air from the quarterback, and that time he got in there on the punt and made a big-time block on that one. Sets up the Warriors at about the 16-yard line of the Rams, their best field position by far, and they're for the first time in this game in the Rams half of the field. Haggerty looks to the right, goes back left, and tries to find his senior captain teammate, Cale Dexter. It's knocked down by the Rams defender, Sullivan, there.
It looked like Sullivan might have had his 2nd interception there if he would have just caught that ball. Not a good ball by Haggerty. Sullivan decided to bat it down, but definitely probably could have picked that one off. Interesting decision by Haggerty. Definitely not the right choice looking for that throw, kind of forcing it into a spot where there wasn't a spot to throw to.
This Warrior offense has been pretty good in past games with always kind of running on 1st down. Decided to change it up with this great field position that they were given, and almost a bad mistake right there by Joey Haggerty. Another drop pass right there. Joey Haggerty put him right on the money, and he was not able to catch it.
That was Ethan Bailey, the receiver, senior captain, targeted there on that one, on the right side for the Warriors. Unfortunately for them, he had dropped that ball on the right side. He looks like he's hurting, maybe got the wind knocked out of him there on that one. But you can't ask for anything more from Haggerty there on that throw. He tried to put him in the right spot to catch that, didn't take a hit, And the Warriors will unfortunately here be facing third down as Dennis Dustin will check back into the game here for Jake Padilla for Wilton.
Yeah, and that's one of the bigger issues, right, is you don't get any yards on first and second down. Now it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and long against a good New Canaan defense, right, in the red zone where the field is compressed, right? You don't have that space. Now the field's compressed when you're in the red zone. Tough situation for the Warriors. They were gifted this field position, and now we'll see if they can do anything with it, but that's what happens when you don't gain any yards on first or second down. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Haggerty here fakes to Calabrese, throws back left to him, makes the catch, tries to evade a defender, loses the ball yet again. It's on the floor, and it looks to be New Canaan football. The referees are still signaling, trying to decide, and they say it is indeed the New Canaan Rams who have recovered that ball.
Yeah, you see Coach Sylvester, defensive coordinator, on the sideline going crazy. This New Canaan defense been swarming all night, aggressive. They get another fumble, and man, that just hurts, right? If you're a player on the Warriors team right now, this New Canaan defense comes out, gets another fumble. A great job, again, by this New Canaan defense, but if you're the Warriors, the offense hasn't looked good this entire night, and another fumble by Calabrese. Calabrese maybe just having an off night, but it's definitely hurt his team a lot.
Calabrese with the second fumble of the night, as John was kind of hinting at. It kind of looks like he hasn't been like fully set this day. He's one to not normally fumble, and today hopefully it's just an off day and he'll come back either late in this game or next game and come back strong and lead the Warriors to a win.
We've seen him put this offense on his back in weeks prior, but today, as John's been talking about, they've really keyed in on him here, and they've made it the anybody but Calabrese can beat us show in this one for the Warriors. And as we've seen, he has not had his best day as a result of that, and it's been tough sledding for the Warriors offense. We're under 2 minutes here to go in the third quarter of this one. The score is 18-0 New Canaan Rams in this football game against the Wilton Warriors. Wilton wearing the camouflage and New Canaan wearing the white in this one. It's 2nd down and 4. Robinson has the snap, hands off to Stein off the left side, cuts it up, tries to make a couple defenders miss, spins up to the 30, and he will have a first down for New Canaan in this one.
That's tough sledding if you're Stein there, right? You get hit not just from the back, but also from the sides and the front. But he gains enough yards to get that first down. Really, Stein does a great job of reaching that extra couple feet for that extra yard or two in each position, and really good at evading tackles and fighting forward, gaining that extra progress that you see, and Stein doing another great job there.
It'll be a first down here for the Rams. Wilton trying to make yet another stop with their defense. They've been stout throughout the night, but they have definitely been fatigued for being on the field for so much of this game. New Canaan has controlled the possession in this football game. Toss here on the right side to the New Canaan running back. Tries to find a seam up the right side, following the blocks from his right tackle there, up to about the 35-yard line of the New Canaan Rams, and it'll be a 2nd down and 5 there for New Canaan.
Yeah, and talk about how much time that Wilton defense has been out there for the Warriors. Jake, tell me about spending all that time on defense and then the offense really not being out there for long. But if you're the Warriors defense, you've been battle tested time and time again. You've been out there for the majority of the game.
They certainly have, John, and it's been clear to see, they have this Warrior D-line, who's normally their strong suit, has just been able to kind of crumble apart, and they've been able to give up big gaps for this New Canaan run scheme just to be able to just completely destroy. They've been able to get 10 yards, 5 yards on almost every single play. It's been not looking good for this Warrior defense. Hopefully on this third quarter, they're just able just to relax a little bit and catch your breath.
Breaking the action here, we will switch sides to start the fourth quarter, the last 12 minutes of this game. The New Canaan Rams in this one visiting the hometown Wilton Warriors. Rams lead this one 18-0 after 3 quarters. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for them as we start the fourth quarter here. And the Warriors will need a big-time fourth quarter with a lot of huge plays and momentum shifts if they want to get back in this one. Wilton comes into this one at 3-2, New Canaan at 4-1. If the score holds right now, New Canaan will get their 5th win of the season, an FCAC win for them yet again. and Wilton will drop to an even 3-3. We'll see what happens in the rest of this one. If the score holds, that will be the result. But as we know, in the FCX Football Conference, anything can happen. So stay tuned for the rest of this one as we start out. Robinson ready for the snap for the New Canaan Rams, and they'll start out at their own 35. Robinson gives this one up the right side, cutting it up, trying to find a hole, finds one up to the 44-yard line to Stein. Stein has been punishing this Wilton defense throughout this game, gets up to about the 45-yard line exactly on that right hash, and yet another first down and 10 here for the Rams.
Yeah, good job by Stein, right, to kind of wait, stay back in the backfield, then explode when he finds that gap, that seam that he's looking for. Does just that, gains about 10 yards on the play. Good job by Stein, just to find that hole and then exploit that hole. You see Robinson expect the Rams right to hand the ball off here. No need to throw the ball, just kind of keep taking time off this clock. Get us out of here as soon as possible. It's a little bit chillier. Not too, maybe that is playing to the Calabrese fumbles, right? His hands are just so cold that he can't handle the ball. We've seen it time and time again in here. Play still going even after the whistle is dead.
Officials blow this one dead for a pre-snap penalty. It'll go as a false start on the New Canaan Rams here, so set them back 5 yards. It'll be first down and 15 for New Canaan. Drop them back to their own 40-yard line here. And they'll get set to start back up on this set of downs. Wilton in dire need of a start here with 11 minutes left to go in this one. And the Warriors down 18-0 against the New Canaan Rams.
As John was saying, for this New Canaan offense, there's really no need to pass the ball. They've been so effective with running it, and there's 10 minutes left in this game, and their game plan is just going to be able to run this clock out. It's first and 15. We'll see what the Rams do.
Rams still in the huddle. Wilton defense all lined up, knowing that they're going to have to stop the run. Here's Robinson in the backfield, going to pitch it to Stein. Stein finds a hole, finds a gap up, running up. Field there, finds about probably 12 yards, right? They went back 5 yards, then add about 7 or 8 to that. Nice job finding the gap by Stein. Once again to the outside, then Kenny will go in for Stein. Kind of load management, right? Bring one back in, then bring the next and keep them fresh and kind of evade the risk of injury, right? You don't want to injure one of your backs either, and it'll be interesting. Expect Robinson to stay in, but if they have to pass the ball, maybe see someone else pass the ball for the Rams.
And as they keep subbing their running backs in and out, the Warriors defense has stayed the same. So definitely the fatigue for the Warriors defense making these tackles. That last one by Connor McAndrews, the junior there. And they just keep having to make these tackles and be physical with these running backs who are getting so much time to regroup and get their thoughts together and get ready to go back in the game. That one is a stop for the Warriors defense short of the line of gain. It'll be a third down and 2 as Kenny takes it up the middle to the left side of that line. Spotted on the left hash here. It's a third down, and the 2 yards they need are crucial here for the Warriors defense if they want any chance of coming back in this one.
9 minutes to go left in the game.
Yeah, now it'll become a clock game, right? Because you only have so much time. You need 3 possessions to get back into this game. And the clock already at 8:55, so you gotta wait. You gotta keep on pushing, right? Because now it's a clock game. You're racing against the clock to have enough time to get those 3 possessions.
Rams snap it with 1 on the play clock. Hands off, up the middle to Kenny. Tries to spin over a defender, and he'll pick up a Rams first down here. Gets it down to about the 43-yard line of the Warriors there. Picks up that first and keeps moving the chains. Clock is going to run for these Rams running backs as they run right up the middle at these Wilton defenders.
Yeah, and you see it, right? They're going to stay in the huddle, kind of take as much time off. You got that 40-second play clock. Now the play clock at about 30, so they still got time. They're just going to stay in the huddle, no rush. Keep handing the ball off. Play this clock game. If you're the Warriors, right, it would be interesting to see if they call their 2 remaining timeouts, but if you don't, you kind of just live with the result. Obviously, lackluster offensive performance, really, honestly, good defensive performance, right? The defense did not play bad. It's just the fact that they were out there for so long and they really had no time to rest. whereas their offense really spent most of the time on the sidelines. Here's a break free by Stein. Stein on that right side. We'll see. He gets down at about the 6-yard line. Great job by Stein to get all the way down there. That might change things a little bit. We'll see if the Rams want to punch it in the end zone or they want to play the clock game as well.
Touchdown saving tackle there from Warrior sophomore Charlie Roy there in the secondary, way downfield. He got him at about the 12-yard line of Wilton, so he saved yet another score for this Rams offense. They only have one in the game so far. It's been a defensive battle throughout, but it has been a gritty game for this Rams offense. They've been running the ball early and often with success on this Warriors defense. And as the time of possession keeps piling up for the Rams, they are going to keep finding more and more success with this ground game.
See, again, the Rams are going to stay in that huddle. 10 seconds left on the play clock. They'll break the huddle, wait down until it gets down to 2 or 1, and snap the ball. Ball handed off to McInerney to that left side. McInerney being brought down by a swarm of Wilton defenders in those camo jerseys.
On that one, it was Jake Padilla and Curtis Jackson there, the juniors for the Warriors, in on that tackle. Mainly, they got in there and stopped running back there for New Canaan on that one. Second down.
As we were kind of talking about earlier, this Warrior team in the schedule going forward, as of right now, they're 3-2. Looks like it's going to be 3-3. And going forward, they got Darien, which is going to be a hard match for them. And then they got Fairfield Ludlow, Brian McMahon, and then Xavier to end it off. So looking forward, hopefully they're going to be able to squeak out a couple wins, but these next couple teams are really going to challenge them. As we saw tonight, New Canaan was a really hard challenge for them. They weren't able to stop this New Canaan run offense, and on offense they weren't able to really get anything going in this run game.
Speaking of the run game, you see here New Canaan continuing to go to it. I don't know if they've passed yet this drive, but it's been successful. They're on the 1-yard line of the Warriors, threatening to put even more points on this scoreboard, as they have 18 right now. The Warriors still with 0 as they started the game. And taking a lot of time in the huddle here are the Rams, trying to get ready, lead the clock out at around 5 minutes, 30 seconds here, and a heavy set formation here for the Rams. Rams are going to try to push this one in, looking for the end zone, and they've got it. Robinson with the 1-yard QB sneak touchdown for the New Canaan Rams. Even more points on the board. 24-0 is the lead now for New Canaan in this one, as they lead the Warriors, the hometown team, at Fujitani Field.
Complete dominance here from the Rams, both on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. I mean, you look there, right? QB sneak with Robinson from the 1-yard line. That's always going to be pretty easy if you got that size advantage on the line, and then a bigger quarterback like Luke Robinson, who really uses his arm and his legs really nicely. Here is Tucker Stevens for the extra point to make it 25-0, pending the extra point.
Tucker Stevens to try for the point after.
Stevens is able to convert that extra point, so it is in fact 25-0. That margin of the lead for the Rams, the biggest one of the night, as Wilton has been unable to put any points on the board in this one. We'll see if that changes now, as the game seems quite out of reach for the Warriors in this one. At this point, it's a 4-possession game with that extra point. So with 5 minutes, 28 seconds left, it seems like this game is all but over for the Warriors. We'll see if they're able to get a little bit of momentum to maybe go into next week's game they have against the Darien Blue Wave, as Jake was talking about. But it looks like this one has just been a dominant performance on the ground, really at the line of scrimmage from the Rams on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball.
Yeah, and if you're the Warriors right here, you're really battle tested. You played Greenwich last week, come out with a big victory. That victory hurt not just around the FCI, but around the state. I mean, you took down the number 1 team in the state. Then you come into this game against a top 5 team in the state. You got right now Darien's at 3, New Canaan's at 4. You play them back to back. So you play New Canaan this week, obviously the result is tough, but this is where you build that momentum in this offensive drive to go against that tough Darien team. You know, your defense is going to have to step up. They got Ben Rolap, who's an experienced quarterback coming back for the Blue Wave after the loss to New Canaan last year in the state championship. They got 2 great receivers. They got really solid team all around. Their defense just as good as New Canaan's, if not better than New Canaan's as well. So you're going to see definitely a tough battle next week as well. And if you're New Canaan, you move into next week against probably an easier opponent. You'll see here is Charlie Calabrese, swarmed by 2 New Canaan defenders there, making the tackle.
It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Nunju has here. We're going to see if he's just going to want to run out of the clock, get out of this game, you know, get ready for Darien next week, as we've been saying, or if he's going to want to, you know, maybe try to push down the field, get a little bit of momentum, score maybe a field goal or a touchdown, get out of this game with a little bit of momentum, just have some points on the board, and keep the morale slightly high as they go on to Darien next week.
Warriors have number 16, Colton Smith at quarterback, and on his first play from scrimmage, it'll be an interception for the New Canaan Rams, bringing it down inside the 5-yard line. So it just gets worse for the Warriors here on offense. The woes continue. Yet another interception for Wilton as Colton Smith is throwing on his first play. Interesting play call there, but he throws an interception, almost taken back to the house on his first play in for Haggerty.
James McInerney there with the interception. Again, defensive dominance leading to some form of offensive points. Big interception with the return. Gonna put the Rams in great field position inside the 5-yard line. An opportunity to tack on more. Already up 25-0 with 4:43 remaining in this game.
I guess we saw the answer to my question, what Coach Nunzi was going to do. He was going to get the backup some reps right there, but as we just saw, Colton Smith throws the interception on his first pass of the game.
Tell them they can get out of the huddle because the clock stopped. Tell them they can go.
Canaan here lining up yet again on the Warriors' goal line. It seems like they have a similar formation as we've seen from the Warriors. The 3 extra blockers in there. Going to the left is McInerney, trying to cut up the field. Gets to about the 1.5-yard line there. And he'll be short on this one. 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go in this contest as it'll be 2nd and goal. Goal to go again for the New Canaan Rams after that Colton Smith interception. And they look to punch it in and get even more points on the board in this one. This is a dominant performance, and this will go down as a huge win and momentum boost for the Rams this season.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, right, in terms of state rankings. I know obviously everyone looks at the state rankings. You got to wonder how much this win means to the committee for New Canaan, if they're going to slide up past Darien, they're going to slide up past that 4th spot, or if they're just going to hold steady. Obviously, Wilton comes off, we mentioned it multiple times in the broadcast, but they come off that big win against Greenwich, taking down the 1 team, really making noise in the state. Now New Canaan rolling right through them as McInerney barrels into the end zone towards the left side, making it 31-0 pending the extra point. Again, New Canaan just converting on all opportunities.
Rams got to kick the extra point here to make it 32-0.
Maddox Hoffman holds. Kick was good.
Taking a cheap shot at us ball on the next one.
Bit of a scuffle on the field here as this one winds down. 3 minutes, 48 seconds left to go in this competition between the Warriors and the Rams. New Canaan came into this one as a higher team in the rankings, as John was talking about, even though that big upset by Wilton happened just that last week. We're wondering if the Warriors could continue their dominance against the top teams in the state, but they were unable to do so here tonight. It seems that it was just tough to go back-to-back, 2 really tough teams in a row, and this one really cost the Warriors as the Rams were able to come in here and roll on the ground, especially in this one.
Yeah, and you know, right, that last play we saw a little scuffle at the end. That was just a result a little bit of frustration on that Wilton sideline, as well as just anger kind of at the way this game has gone. It's not been a good game for the offense. The defense a little bit frustrated. They've been out there for most of the game. Really, New Canaan getting whatever they want, whenever they want, mostly on the defensive side of the ball, but also on the offensive side of the ball. It's just been a tough night for the Wilton Warrior football team. They'll look to rebound. They have a great opportunity next week to rebound against a good Darien team. You come back off a tough loss like tonight, then you come back next week, come back strong, make a statement, and prove that you still are one of the better teams in the FCAC with a win against a really good team in the FCAC in Darien.
Referees have issued a penalty here that will take place on this kick, so it'll be a short kick for the Rams here as they will kick it off. 3:48 to go in this one. Winding down this game, it's 32-0 Rams. For anybody just tuning in, the Warriors have not looked great on offense, to say the least, in this one. They have not gotten the ground game going with Calabrese so far, one of their best offensive weapons throughout the season, and it's been tough sledding for them throughout. Warriors will get this one at the 20-yard line, and this is where they'll start this offensive drive.
New Canaan still with the starters in on defense. Interesting decision, but obviously you want to give the starters the most reps, and so Connor Mazza's still out there, senior captain. You got Chuck Rove still out there.
Direct snap right there to Colton Smith. Able to pick up a couple yards on the play right there. He's going to make it about a 2nd and 8 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this football game.
Warriors getting the play call from their sideline. The clock is still running. Looks like they might be more content to let the clock run down here after that interception the last drive that set up another New Canaan touchdown on the goal line. Colton Smith in the formation here with Dennis Dustin to his right. Warriors have more backups in the game than we've seen from them mostly all season so far. Hands it off to Dustin. A little bit of trouble with that handoff, and he's taken down after no gain on this one. It'll be 3rd down and 8 here for the Wilton Warriors.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 8.
Looks like a little muff snap right there. The muff handoff between Colton Smith and Dennis Dustin right there. A little miscommunication or just bad timing right there, as it is only Colton Smith, 3rd snap of the game. They're going to be looking at a 3rd and 8 on the 22-yard line with 2 minutes left to go in the game. We're just going to watch the clock run down, and the Warriors are just going to have to come back strong next week against Darien.
Wilton here with the run up the left side, trying to cut it up the middle here, and he'll gain a solid amount of yards. Looks to be a 1st down there after that run on the play to Dustin. Looks to be up to the 31-yard line. We're approaching 2 minutes in this game.
On the tackle, number 44.
And the Warriors do, in fact, pick up a 1st down. So at the 31, they'll have it, letting the clock run down. Not a lot of time left in this one. We're now under 2 minutes officially.
First and 10, Wilton.
Yeah. Jumbo, we only have super ice.
Colton Smith keeps this one, dragged down on the play at about the line of scrimmage there at the 31-yard line. Colton Smith unable to really get anything going for the Warriors. We're under 1 minute 30 seconds here in this one. The clock is winding down.
Sealer, once again on the tackle.
It'll be 2nd down here for the Wilton Warriors.
2nd and 10.
Who you got? Well, Ethan's probably the next one. I think Josh.
Penalty flag on the field.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be offsides on whoever was on the closest edge to
Offsides
us.
penalty charged against New Canaan.
I think that's going to be number 49 for New Canaan. He looked like he just got a little bit too close to the line of scrimmage. 48 seconds left in the game.
Second
They're
and
just
5.
going to call 1 or 2 more plays and let the clock run down.
This might be the last play of the game here. Colton Smith keeps it, takes it up the right sideline, tries to turn it up,
Smith on the
and he
keeper.
gains maybe 1 yard here for the Warriors. Clock is under 30 seconds now. The Warriors may just be content to let this run out, and it seems like that's what they're going to be doing here.
Looks like that'll do it here at Tom Fujitani Field. Matchup between the Rams and the Warriors will end in a Rams 32-0 victory under dominance tonight by this Rams defense and offense.
Final score of the game is going to be Wilton 0,
That is the end of the game.
Canaan
Let's have a
Rams
nice round of
32.
applause for both teams.
And in this one, it was a tale of two sides here. The ground game executing to perfection there for the Rams in this one. Coming into Fujitani Field, the Warriors not a lot of success on the ground throughout the night. Rams, as they were saying, win this one by a score of 32-0 officially. Wilton Warriors are unable to get a win here at their home game. They dropped to 2-1 at home. Rams 3-0 on the road in this after this one. The Warriors 3-3 on the season, and the Rams improved